Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Here's the headline from Decrypt. SEC Chair Paul Atkins slams Gensler regime for stifling crypto innovation. And I gotta tell you, this is one of the greatest vindication moments for XRP holders that I've ever seen. And that's saying something, because we live in a world where the SEC has already voluntarily agreed to drop its appeal against Ripple and agreed in principle to reduce Ripple's penalty by $75 million, of course, pending a vote by the commissioners. Now we have the new SEC chairman admitting what all of us have known to be true all along, that not only were there not clear rules of regulations for the cryptocurrency asset class, including XRP, but that there was an assault on all things crypto as well. You know, they were seeking to destroy all things crypto. Former Chair Gensler was gaslighting us, all of us, insisting we were wrong when we explained, mind you, rationally and logically, where there was not clarity for those of us operating in this space. We were saying, here's the hole, here's the void, here's where it is. But he effectively told us we were all crazy for thinking that. But he knew very well that he was being dishonest because he's an asshat prick. It's just impossible, absolutely impossible to believe that Gensler actually thought the things that he was saying were actually true. There's no chance in hell. And XRP holders were needlessly attacked, some of us financially ruined in the process, quite literally. It's disgusting and it's unforgivable. Unforgivable. But, you know, now, finally, we're on the right track, and there is actual healing. But before going further, I do want to be clear. I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. All right, let's jump into this piece. Newly sworn-in SEC Chair Paul Atkins gave his first full address Friday, praising the Commission's recent pro-crypto work in his absence and condemning the agency's previous moves against the industry under previous Chair Gary Gensler and the Joe Biden administration. And so I'll pause and note there's good reason for him to do that. There are all sorts of lawsuits that were moving forward, just thrown out, completely chucked, and there were investigations that were ongoing. Just dismissed, thrown out. And it's just been so fascinating to see the lawsuits that were actually chucked out the window. It was with prejudice, meaning that the SEC can't bring them back again. Very clear marker. The war on crypto is over, right? Trump wasn't kidding about that part. Anyway, piece continues. Market participants engaging with this technology deserve clear regulatory rules of the road, Atkins said of crypto from the agency's Washington headquarters. Innovation, and I love this quote, innovation has unfortunately been stifled for the last several years due to market and regulatory uncertainty that, unfortunately, the SEC has fostered, end quote. Folks, that's the new guy in charge of the SEC. Paul Atkins being like, yeah, this organization, we were doing some crap. Finally, from the top, from the very top of the SEC, acknowledgement that what they were doing was wrong. All it took was new leadership. All it took was an administration in charge that didn't irrationally hate crypto because reasons. And here we are. Some sanity coming back to the freaking world. Oh, it's just such a relief. Because I know I'm preaching to the choir here, like, whatever percentage size, like, obviously this is an XRP-centric channel. Whatever size XRP is, percentage-wise, of your overall portfolio in crypto, like, everything was under attack, honestly. Like, that's the truth. And so, yeah, XRP is my favorite. It's my largest individual crypto holding. But, you know, it doesn't matter. Like, I felt like all of my crypto was at risk. Because I always believed, since 2017 when I jumped into crypto, that this was a true opportunity for life-changing wealth. And so, because look, I'm 41 years old. I wasn't quite old enough to be at a point where I could have participated in investing in the dot-com boom and bust. And I remember being in my 20s thinking, oh man, if I had just been a little bit older, it would have been nice because I would have been one of the types to get in there and try and make some money and get out. And I was like, I missed that moment. There's a moment in time, flash in the pan. Little did I know that I'd get that opportunity, but on steroids. And so when I got into crypto, that's what I recognized it as. And I just felt like, seeing what the SEC was doing here under the Biden administration, I just felt like they were trying to destroy my opportunity to achieve what I believed was possible to achieve financially. Just being a regular everyday person, because that's pretty much everybody listening like me. Like, we're just regular people trying to get our opportunity, just trying to get ours, at least to have our chance at it. And if we screw it up, it's fine. It's our fault, but there's opportunity here. I just wanted the opportunity. And here you had the government trying to screw that all up after I'd put very serious money that I've worked hard for years and years and years into this crypto asset class. And they're just taking a hammer to it, and they just didn't even give a damn. Well, fuck them. That's what I have to say about that. Fuck them very much. Anyway, peace continues. The comments came ahead of the SEC's third dedicated crypto roundtable, which today focused on crypto custody, that is, the business of securing and storing crypto assets on behalf of clients. During his brief address, Atkins also praised the work of fellow Republican Commissioner Hester Peirce, who has led the agency's new crypto task force since January. My warmest personal thanks go to Commissioner Peirce for her principled and tireless advocacy for common sense crypto policy within the United States, he said. It's no wonder that she has justly earned the title of Crypto Mom. Such a nerdy title, but you know what? It's with love, so she's happy with it. We're all happy with it. It's fine. Over the last 90 days, under Peirce's leadership, the SEC has overhauled its once contentious approach to the crypto industry, dropping the majority of its high-profile, crypto-focused lawsuits and investigations. The regulator has also issued statements exempting multiple categories of crypto assets from securities regulation. I love this. Now Atkins, a former SEC commissioner under President George W. Bush, is back in the building after a months-long confirmation process. He's given every indication that pushing pro-crypto policies will be a top priority of his chairmanship, having said as much during his confirmation hearing at the White House earlier this week, during his swearing-in ceremony, and now today during his first official address in office. I got to ask, though, how is he going to do that? How is he going to do all that? How is he going to provide all this clarity when there's no place to provide clarity? Remember Kim Jong-Ginsler? He said, oh, everything's perfectly clear. So what are you going to do? Officer, I'm already pulled over. I can't pull over any further, right? What are you going to do? Must be impossible because Gary Gensler said so, right? That Mr. Burns lookalike. Of course, historians will look back on this and be like, yeah, obviously Kim Jong-Ginsler was doing his dirty. Anyway, here's a quote from him, though. This is Paul Atkins. I look forward to engaging with market participants and working with colleagues, President Trump's administration, and Congress to establish a rational, fit-for-purpose framework for crypto assets. I expect huge benefits from this market innovation in terms of efficiency, cost reduction, transparency, and risk mitigation. End quote. You know what? You just love to see it. You just love to see it. Now, of course, not surprisingly, all sorts of people working in the world of crypto are relieved by this. I want to share with you a few quotes. This section right here, this is what I'm covering. Check this out. It's from a separate article. Chris Perkins, president of CoinFund, spoke with host Savannah Fortis and described his excitement regarding the new SEC chair, predicting a reduction in regulatory uncertainty under the new administration. And here's a quote. I love this. This is so true. We were under this regulatory reign of terror, under the Biden administration. Investors in assets, they're very comfortable taking market risk, but they're not comfortable taking reputational risk, and along with that is regulatory risk, end quote. Right, but you see, again, it was all very clear. What do you mean taking risk? Everything's clear. All you got to do is follow the rules. Yeah, no, that's not how that works. The rules were never clear. They knew it. And so you're getting this huge sigh of relief collectively from everybody working in the world of crypto. You'll love to see it. Anyway, he pointed out how it was not only investors and companies who were nervous under the last administration, but also developers in the crypto space who had been targeted for their work. Perkins highlighted how a shift in the regulatory climate could catalyze growth. Oh, you'll think? But folks, keep in mind, the United States is the largest capital market on the entire damn planet. And it was practically closed off. Not literally, but like stunted heavily That's over. Imagine what will happen as a result of this in the coming years. It's going to be explosive. It's like whatever is happening, we were already excited and very stoked to have the opportunity to get ridiculous ROI for our investments. It's that on steroids now. Like that's part of what's so exciting about this. Anyway, another quote here. Now, again, you're taking that personal liability off. So in a way, you have this perfect storm of new institutional capital coming in and new developers coming in. And I think this is going to be a golden age for venture and value creation, end quote. Catherine Dowling, General Counsel and Chief Commercial Officer at Bitwise Asset Management, agreed that change is already visible. The mood has already changed, she said. We've seen a flurry of activity around certain legal cases being dismissed, dropped, not because all regulation is going away, but because more work needs to be done to define what these digital assets are. Exactly. Now we can live in reality. Call it whatever you want to call it. Just make sure that everybody knows the rules and then everybody has to live by them. Fine. We didn't have that this whole time. Very obviously. Here's one more. This from yet another article. We've noticed that we don't have to be concerned about being accused of things that we're not doing, like being broker-dealers for securities. Executive Chief Legal Officer Veronica McGregor, who participated in the roundtable, told Cointelegraph on April 24th. That's right. They don't have to worry about just doing their thing and then being accused of being a broker-dealer. Can you imagine? Just whatever your line of work is. Okay. Imagine you're just going along doing whatever it is. Just so insert in your own head whatever your line of work is. And then the SEC comes in and be like, oh, you're a broker-dealer. You're a broker-dealer. And then they sue the hell out of you for several years. Imagine that. You know? It's just ridiculous. Here's another quote from her. It's just a less scary regulatory environment in general. It is, however, still unclear what the ultimate regs are going to look like for crypto. Yeah, but at least it's going to be figured out. And that is true. We were right, and it's just nice to be vindicated. To have the new SEC come in and be like, yeah, no, actually the previous leadership, that was all bullshit. We got you now. Like, yes, I'll take that. Thank you very much. That's all we wanted. It's all we wanted. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.